Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another daily devotion. This devotion I'm recording for Thursday, April 21st of 2022, and we are working our way through the Gospel of Matthew. We are in 11th chapter. Today we're going to look at just verses 16 through 19 today, so just a little bite. This is still part of that dialogue of Jesus talking about John the Baptist, and so here he's going to compare the way he has presented the message and the way John presented the message, and that the response has been the same from at least from the leaders. So let's jump into, without further ado, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 16 to 19. But to what will I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to one another. We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We wailed, and you did not mourn. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and you said he has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and you said, look, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Yet wisdom is vindicated by her deeds. Okay. He's comparing the population to kids in the marketplace playing while the parents are there shopping or working or whatever. The kids are gathered around, and there was a particular game apparently that they played that we would translate to weddings and funerals, and in it they would play like they were doing a wedding or doing a funeral, you know, basically similar children's type games, but they would be playing, acting like they were playing flutes and singing happy songs, and that's the verse in verse 17 where it says, "We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We tried to be happy, and you weren't joining in. Then we wailed, and you did not mourn." That's singing a mournful song, is what that's getting at. Is what the wailing means. It's a mournful song, and you didn't mourn. They had professional mourners, and they were acting like they were professional mourners as they were singing these mournful, wailing songs. And so the idea was, there was, what do you want? We came happy, we came sad, and you're not responding to either method of the message. And to make it clear, in verse 18 he talks about that John came neither eating nor drinking. He came in this very austere way of being out in the wilderness, eating bugs, living off the land, wearing rough clothing, being very much an austere type of a presentation. And they say, "Oh, you got a demon. He's got a demon." And then the Son of Man, Jesus commonly calls himself the Son of Man. That comes from Daniel 7. So in a way, when he says that, he's making a prophecy about who he is. He's identifying himself as the Messiah. And so the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and look, he called him a glutton and a drunkard because he was sitting down having table fellowship and drinking wine with people. And he was a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Oh my word! Whereas John was, calling out people for being snakes and vipers. Um, so neither, what way do you want the message presented? It doesn't matter how we dress it up. You don't receive it. That's something I think we could take to heart now, because oftentimes we think about the way we package the message, and we want to have the newest music, we want to have this or that, the other thing, and we want to package the message in a way that people will be willing to open the package, I guess, for want of a better metaphor there. And Jesus' point is that it doesn't matter how we wrap it up, you aren't opening the package. And I think that's the problem we have this day and age. No matter how we present the gospel, people just aren't engaging with it like they should be. Not sure how to answer that. If I knew how to answer that, I could write books and sell them to churches and retire. Um, but the last bit of verse 19 there, yet wisdom is vindicated by her deeds. Now, of course, that's Sophia, is what that wisdom is, Sophia, and that's a feminine word. In Luke, he says that yet wisdom, Sophia, is vindicated by her children, is the way that Luke has that. That's probably from Q. This story is probably from Q, because Matthew and Luke are almost verbatim on this one. But what that's getting at, I think, is that wisdom, that's pointing back to Jesus, both Jesus and John, and the truth of their message is vindicated by their deeds. Remember, we started this chapter off with John's disciples asking Jesus, are you really the Messiah? And he talked about the blind have their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor have good news brought to them. So these are all things that he's using. These are wisdom vindicated by her deeds. That's what he's talking about there. That's what he is elaborating there. And so this is just kind of a continuation, I think, of that message to those disciples who have now left, by the way. They had left, and Jesus now just was talking to the rest of the crowd. So that's what I've got for you today on this little bit. We will pick up tomorrow and verse 20. So have a very blessed day, and please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. We'll see you later. Bye-bye, and God bless.